Oh, come on, Batman! You knew this was coming, I knew this was coming, and if you want it to come, then hit the subscribe button. Wild and ass thing to say. But anyway, yes, if you paid attention to the community post, then you know what this is. Or if you've just been focusing hard on Twitter when you see the stuff I've been posting, story related stuff, then you already know what time this is. But yes, what I'm basically going to do is create a new series of Quickhatsu's story, which is going to be the origin story of basically how everything kind of started out in the very beginning. It's a mini series. It's not going to be like a super overly long ass series, and it will, you know, go coincide with the actual main series of what's happening. So when it comes down to it, you'll get to learn, you know, how Konako and Jay kind of met up, why Junko, you know, kind of was an asshole and all that sort of stuff, and the plenty of myriad of things that kind of happened like before all this crazy stuff really went to a head. And the main reason why I'm also doing this too is for two things. One, because no one really knows that story, and I thought, why not just go ahead and do it, and it'll be a good time than any. Plus, it can be shorter than the actual series that we do, because, you know, I don't want to necessarily just, you know, just work super hard and put so many different acts into the story only for that jump to be going for too damn long, and I'd be tired just like, you know, the main story, because that last one with Shion really wore me the hell out, which is why I didn't do one this month. But when it comes down to it though, I'm like, so let's just do like an origin story, because I can at least work with that, and plus less characters to kind of deal with too, so it can be a bit more easier for me when it comes down to it, right? And secondly, I'm doing this because I want you guys that maybe never have watched the JSX4 series to give this one a chance, to at least maybe start out with this one. Then maybe if you really want to go through and watch future episodes, then you can obviously go and check out the regular version of the series and see how you feel with that. Also, as you're probably hearing in the doggone audio, yes, the audio is a bit different because I have a phone now, which actually came through. Obviously, if you've been paying attention with the whole, you know, throwing your situation, then you know why I exactly have this phone, but I do have it, and it's honestly wonderful. It's nice. Galaxy A15 has been hitting really good and really hard, honestly, and I thoroughly enjoy all of this shit. Don't have a lot of USB-C stuff, so this is also another thing that kind of is like, whoa, holy shit, I'm in the future now, because I've been using nothing but the other USB stuff that we had. So this is also very interesting. But without any further ado, let's actually get into this stuff. At the very beginning of this whole story, all you hear is Shuichi being like, we stand 1 foot in fiction and 1 foot in reality. And so basically this man starts waking up on the damn ground, hearing a group of people talking. Yeah, he sees a little bit of who's there, but he doesn't fully recognize it because he just isn't fully aware right now. And then he passes out again, you know, and sometime later, after everybody is gone and the whole situation of V3 has, you know, pretty much concluded, you know, he starts to actually get up and look around a bit more. And so he's just like, where am I? Isn't this Hope's Peak? And he's just kind of confused as all hell, but he walks around and then you see this puddle of blood where a pair of glasses lie. Now, if you've seen NV3, you know exactly what this is. But when it comes down to it, he's just like, wait, isn't this? And so he picks up Samugi's glasses and observes them before putting them on himself. And so he's just like, Samugi's... No, this can't be. And so as he put them on, basically the world of V3 that he was in disappears around him. And you finally actually get to see, you know, how he is and, you know, why he's wearing all the glasses and how he look when it comes to it. Anyway, he's just like, what is this? And so he basically just looking around and trying to see what is happening, but it's nothing but a black ass void, nothing going on. And at some point, suddenly, a voice of despair whispers something into his ear. And despair basically is like, you'll drown in the dark, all alone. And then, all of a sudden, millions of voices of negativity starts cramming into his head, which is not necessarily good. Get some help. And then obviously Jay doesn't want this really to be happening at all, trying to block it out, but obviously, you know, despair being despair, not gonna make that easy. And as the voice kept going and going, someone was watching him, even though Jay couldn't see her, And it was just actually, at least to him, a ball of light that was like watching and speaking to him than it was seeing the actual physical form of this person. And if you already know who this person is, if you kept up with the main series, you know. But when it comes down to it though, she's like, tell me, what do you want most of all? And Jay's just like, what? What I want? And he's just like, somewhere where I can't hear these voices. Safe and controlled. And so the orb of light heard his wish and granted his request, taking him out of the void and into a brand new world. And essentially, now we are back into the place of where we usually are. And he got, the voices away from him. He is on this round looking nice green marble floor ass place. And he just starting to get up too. And so he looked around and he heard obviously nothing of the voices anymore. But he heard the AC of the building and it's just how it's running and stuff. And so Jay's just like, now where am I? This isn't a school I've ever been to. And so he just walked around and went to places just in the hallway, the cafeteria, the gymnasium, even outside and stuff. Basically trying to see if anybody's here, and obviously no one is. Flammables? Non-flammables? I'm at a Japanese school? And so he continued to walk around and saw a city below from the fence that he was looking from. And it was also voided of life. Then the sun started to set and he sat on the desk all alone. And he just like, this shit is creepy. And then he starts thinking to himself, he's just like, what's happening to me? I went to sleep and got brought to different places. None of this is making any sense. I wonder, does anyone know where I am? Or where I disappeared to? Most likely someone knows something's wrong when I stopped uploading videos to that site. And then he starts speaking aloud. He's just like, I wonder, am I dead? Man, if I was gonna die, I wish I gave one last video about Konako out to them. Maybe I am crazy after all. I'm thinking about some fictional character instead of this mess of a life I got. And it's getting late too, but where do I even go? I isekai'd and nothing to show for it. The most that light could have done was let me spend this lonely hell with someone. And so as he continues and about to walk out the classroom, as he walks forward, Konako appears behind this man. And so she starts waking up and she's like, huh? Where am I? And so he turns around after hearing that voice and he just noticed Konako is right there. And he's just like, huh? How exactly? So basically he's just like, Konako? And so Konako just like, how do you know my name? Who are you? And Jay's just being hella flustered at this point because obviously his wife who came to life, who wouldn't be? Dead ass. But when it comes down to it, he's just like, you're real? No, that can't be right. You in front of me. And so Konako's just like, what are you talking about? And so he went up to her and patted her head just to see if it was all real, not a hallucination. No, he touched her and it is indeed real. And so he's like, my gosh, this is real. You really are here. And so Konako just very silent because she doesn't know what the hell is going on. And so Jay just turns around immediately, crouches down and screaming with himself. Just like, Konako's real! She's here! I'm so effing happy! I can die. And so Konako just like, I can hear you. And so he's just like, ah, yes. Forgot you can do that now. And so he just listening to it. He's just thinking to himself like, my darling Konako, I just wanted to say how much I love you. Wait, calm down. I got one chance I need to play this cool cell right now. He's just like getting serious, trying to F himself up, not to F this up. Konako just like, you still haven't answered my question. Who are you? And how do you know me? And so Jay just like trying to act all cool, whatever, trying to be the Rizzler. And he just like, hi, Konako. I'm Jay, and I know you because, oh. And so Konako's just like, what? I assume you summoned me here, but I don't remember Rias or I making a contract with you. And so he's like, contract? Oh, right. This isn't simple to explain, but it wasn't a simple contract or any at all. Hey, I know this is a bit sudden, but let's go somewhere else and I'll explain what I know. Is that okay with you? And so Konako is reluctant to do it, but she's like, fine. And so they finally go over to the cafe. So Jay basically explains to Konako what he knows about the situation and about what she actually is in his world. And so anybody telling you what you actually are versus, you know, what you think you are, obviously gonna lead into some complications. And so Konako is immediately like, an anime character? You can't be serious. And Jay's like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. The fact I don't talk to you now is literally an impossible dream. You are, or I guess were now, a creation of someone else's design. It's weird, I know, but I don't have really a reason to lie to you. Not like I would, but we are in the same position in a way. Besides, how else would I have known your name? And so Konako's just like, there are plenty of ways to find a person's name, so tell me something only I would know. Otherwise, I'm leaving. And so Jay just like, Shirone, your real name, which your sister Kuroko calls you by, despite you hating her. Or did I make that up? And so Konako was a bit shocked about this, and he just like, I can add more if you like you not accepting your Nekomata self-empowers, and the fact that your sister killed your master. I can keep going, but I think you get it. Again, I got no reason to lie to you. And so Konako, trying to remain calm because she basically kind of starts believing that, you know, he might be right about this. And so she just breathes deeply, taking a sigh, and then she tries to stay calm. And so Konako just like, okay, so why did you specifically bring me here? And so Jay just kind of stands up and, you know, turns around because he's getting a bit embarrassed right now. He's just like, I didn't know just saying your name would bring you here. As for the why, it's a bit embarrassing. And so Konako's just like, let me guess, you thought me as your wife, huh? And so he just starts, you know, getting all crazy and flustered about it. He's just like, I mean, yeah? How do you expect me to think when I saw how cool you were in your world? Much less kinda cute, too. This is so weird, saying to the person you never thought you'd meet. And so Konako's just like, so that was your reason? Flattering, but why not someone else, like Rias? And so Jay's just like, I think everyone else is cool too, but compared to you, especially when I first saw your design, I immediately liked it. Besides, you can be straightforward and less reserved than the others, and well, I respected that. And so Konako just like, again, flattering. But if you've seen the world where I come from, you know flattery does nothing for me. At least not from you. And so she starts examining Jay a bit closely, and she's just like, not that you're a total loss. A little too much blue for my taste, but cute. And so Jay's just like, oh, well, thanks. I never thought I would get a compliment from you directly. But what do you mean so much blue? And so Konako's just like, you literally are a walking blueberry. The jacket, hair, the eyes. That's a bit much, isn't it? And so Jay's like, what? And so for the first time since he's been here, really since he put on those glasses, he now observes himself and he's just like, what? And so he went to the window of the cafe and saw his reflection, and he immediately starts freaking the hell out because he didn't see this before. And so he's just like, that's not me. I mean, it is, but why do I look like him? You seriously didn't know you looked like that? And so Jay just like, no! And so Konako just like, huh. Seems like we really are in a weird situation together. Alright, something weird is happening here. We need to work together to get back home to our respective worlds if we can. And I'm willing to believe you, so let's try to work this out, okay? And so Jay didn't really know how to respond with between Konako coming real and obviously looking like a character himself. He didn't know really how to respond to any of this, so he just basically nodded and they started walking to the exit. But then Konako prompted a question to this man, and she was just like, "There is something I want to ask you though." And so he's like, "What is it?" And so Konako's just like, "You know everything about me, and knowing you're an otaku, I can guess there are others like you that know everything there is to know about me." And Jay's just like, "Yeah." And so Konako's just like, So, as I am now, in front of you, am I still a character to you, or a person?" And so Jay's just like, "Huh?" And so Konako's just like, "I want to know where your head is at." And so Jay's just like, "If you asked me before this, then yeah, you aren't real. But how can I say that when I felt you before and how you're showing your emotions? You're moving, thinking, and living on your own without anyone's input. So of course you're a person. Yeah, it's a dream come true that you're here, but you still have your own mind to make whatever decision you want to right now. All of what I know aside, I believe in what I see. And right now, you're beyond a character. I'd go as far as to say I'm happy to see that you can think for yourself now." And so Konako was actually, getting embarrassed about this herself, actually getting surprised about his words, honestly. And her heart was actually kind of racing slightly. However, she kind of tried to shake it off as much as she could. And so she's just like, "Good. Glad you see it that way. I know you know already, but let me formally introduce myself. I am Konako Tojo, Reassist Rook and member of the Grimory household. It's nice to meet you, Jay." So as they basically leave the cafe, we finally get to the last part of this, which is very short. And Konako is just taking a bath in her hotel room, and that's where they decide to stay at until they figure things out. And so Konako just taking a bath by herself, and she's just like, "Seriously? Why me of all people have to deal with this?" And so she closes her eyes and thought about Issei for a moment. And when it comes down to it, Issei's just like, in her mind at least, she's like, "You're not just important to the team, but to me too, Konako." And so she starts thinking about how she misses Issei. And she's like, "Issei, And so as she continues or tries to think more about him, for whatever reason, her mind shifted towards Jay. And essentially, he just says what he said before, saying, "I believe in what I see. And right now, you are beyond a character." And I go as far as to say, I'm happy you can think for yourself now. And so she opened her eyes and was confused at why she was felt embarrassed thinking about Jay, honestly. Having more feelings towards him than Issei? And so when it comes down to it, Konako's just like, "Why him? Get it together. I don't even know him. We're from separate worlds. So why am I feeling this way?" And so she calmed herself down again and threw away his words in her own mind. And she just basically says, "It's nothing. He's just a creep." And that's where the story of the origins kind of end right now. I know, a bit shorter, but when it comes down to it, that's the whole plan of the series. Or at least I'm going to try to make it the plan. But you get the point of what's happening here. But mainly, I didn't want to necessarily just fully commit to, yeah, we're going to make Konako and Jay start effing each other and they're going to start falling in love immediately. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted this to be a little bit of a struggle, honestly. There's a reason why she's feeling for him, though. But when it comes down to it, though, I wanted to make it like, well, if you got sent to a random world and someone's like, "I'm fond of you," and they want to, think all these crazy ass thoughts about you, I'm pretty sure you will call that person a creepy ass person as well, even if they are a good person down below. And now, I'm not going to explain basically like everything of what happened visually in the story, because I think you can put two and two together with certain details, because certain objects are missing and how certain things kind of was presented to you. I'm pretty sure you can put two and two together at this point now. But when it comes down to it though, it's just, again, something I really wanted to try when it comes to the series, and really wanted to see if I can just nail this down with, you know, different things to kind of happen and kind of go with the origin story and everything like that. Because hell, we don't really even know too much about why he starts to learn, you know, that he can control things and stuff like that, or can he even do certain things like create his own characters and stuff like that. Like, is that possible? But like, there's plenty of different questions that we don't really know. Hell, you're even gonna find out how he's not necessarily like freaked out when he sees Saitama in the regular series, because Saitama don't belong to any anime world, so why didn't he freak out there? Another question for you. So that's going to be another thing when it comes down to it. So again, this origin story miniseries is going to have a lot of different things, and obviously if you're going to be down for the ride and if you want to enjoy it, please go ahead and hit the, you know, subscribe button and like this type of video, so when I do more of these, you'll happen to see them and you're going to enjoy the ride along with it. But that's really what I wanted to do today. So again, thank you very much for just tuning in. And if you did enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the bell notification anywhere else. Also follow me on the socials on Twitter and Blue Sky. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until next, boy Jay, sign off. Have a blessed day.